The views and opinions expressed by the guest author or speaker during this live session are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of Reader's Magnet. The content shared is for informational purposes only and does not constitute endorsement or promotion of any particular belief, ideology, or product.
Hello, authors, book lovers, and storytellers. Welcome to another awesome day here at RM Hive, and you're tuning in to Reader's Magnet's featured author interview. This is your host, Revan, and I'm thrilled about today's guest. And before she became an author, she lived a story shaped by resilience. So she was raised in the Missouri Ozarks. She learned early that life can be challenging and that strength is often built through hardship. As a mother of three sons, everything changed when her youngest survived heart surgery but was left with lifelong challenges. What followed were years of fierce advocacy, perseverance, and discovering what it truly means to overcome. Through her work with children and families, especially those with special needs, she found her purpose. Offering hope to those facing difficult paths. So her writing reflects that mission, uplifting, honest, and rooted in real experiences. And her book, Champions We Are, is a reminder that victory isn't about perfection, but perseverance. Please welcome Elisabeth Watter. Hi, Beth. Thank you for joining us here today again. How are you?
I am good.
Yes. And for all our viewers out there, if you're familiar with this beautiful lady here, Beth Water, she was with us during the Festival of Storytellers as one of our featured authors. And how are you? How's your experience with the festival, Beth?
Oh, it's been very exciting.
Yeah,
Getting to kind of meet the other authors and hearing why they wrote and what they wrote. It
true.
just makes you
True.
realize everyone's got a story.
Mm-hmm.
Is
I love
learning
that.
how to tell your story is the trick. So very
Yes,
exciting.
very exciting as well. So, for all you guys out there, Beth here is also going to be with us during the LA Times Festival of Books that's going to happen in April, and I'm excited about this as well because she's one of our featured authors as well who are going to be there signing copies of her books and sharing her stories as well at during the confab and the latfob as well, or the LA Times Festival of Books. So now, Beth, so champions we are, so can you tell our live audience on what this book is about?
This book is about a boy with a dream, and he gets his friends to help him. He gets his family to help him. He gets the entire
Mm-hmm.
community to get together to help him achieve his dream, but also he helps all of them achieve their dreams. So they all help each other to be able to overcome and conquer.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
becoming champions isn't necessarily they all won titles, it's they all
mm-hmm,
achieved what they really went after.
true. I love that. So champions we are. I actually love the title because it's to me it's a really strong title and it includes me as well. Champions we are. Love that.
Yeah.
So what or who inspired you to write this book?
Well, my son Nick
Mm-hmm.
has cerebral palsy. He's in a wheelchair,
Mm-hmm.
and he has never let his wheelchair slow him down. He
Mm-hmm.
just goes out and conquers everything. He wants to play basketball. He played on the Rockford Junior Chariots
Mm-hmm.
basketball team for a while. He goes to sports camp and achieves all kinds of, it's like he's never like first place in most of those things because it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
But he
True.
does the best he can, so he always achieves more than he thinks he's going to. And everything
Mm-hmm.
helps him grow and become more mature.
Mm-hmm.
And so that just all the experiences he's gotten to do is why I decided to write the book. Is that I want other families with kids who have disabilities to realize
Mm-hmm.
that they can't do everything, but if you don't go and try, you don't know. And so he keeps trying and he keeps conquering, and he's my little champion. So he's my inspiration. So
True. I love how you're writing an inspirational book coming from a real life boy. So you have boy in a wheelchair and you actually created a story that could actually provide impact to all those readers out there. Not only you're sharing the story about your son, but it also gives inspiration to those who are actually struggling in life as well, and that there is still
Right.
hope and that they can still, champions we are. From the title itself, it also gives that same impact of inspirational message, and it motivates other people to become champions themselves as well. And I love that.
Right. Something else I wanted it to do for families,
Mhm.
besides helping them get their kids out there and have full lives, let them
Yeah.
experience life. It also teaches kids to accept people who are different, to cheer each other on instead of, maybe making fun of them or laughing at them. So if you see a kid who's having trouble doing something, ask
Hmm.
if you can help. Sometimes all it takes is one person to offer some help and they can overcome their obstacle. And so I wrote for junior high age kids because
Hmm.
I think those are the kids who are questioning everything. Because a lot of times today they're not getting taught, all the basics of just humanity, of being
Hmm.
nice to people, accepting people, being kind to each other. And so I'm hoping this story reflects that if you're kind to people, they're kind to you.
Hmm.
If you see somebody with a problem, offer to help them overcome it. And then if we help each other, we can do anything. And
Yes,
so I just want people to kind of grow from it and be more loving and kind to other people.
true. And I really love how you say it. Oh, when you said a while ago, you said, let them experience life. And that struck
Yes.
me. Yes, I agree to that. So I want us to experience life. So let the kids experience life, and they will be good people as well when they grow up because they experienced it.
Well,
Yeah.
I have two older sons. Nick's our youngest. And so our two older sons are very compassionate and caring. My one son is a paramedic, and the
Mm-hmm.
other one is he drives for FedEx. But both boys
Mm-hmm.
grew up with a little brother who needed help. And
Mm-hmm.
they saw some of the challenges, they helped him overcome, and he saw how treated people could treat them unkindly. And he had always,
Mm-hmm.
kind of chastised their friends saying, hey, why would you do that? Why would you say that? And so
Mm-hmm.
they were always his champions. They were his role models and, his heroes. And so he helped our whole family become better people
Mm-hmm.
because he just brings out the best in people because he's very loving.
True.
And, it's important to be kind to people. Yeah.
Yes. And we already know that this book is very inspirational. So, what do you think your readers will take away after reading your book?
I think it'll make them look at what they do in their
Mm-hmm.
everyday life. They'll think about all the things that are around them that could possibly be something they could do if they went out and adjusted it. What I've
Mm-hmm.
discovered in Boy Scouts, because Nick is an Eagle Scout, but in order for him to achieve all the merit badges, we had to do some adjustment. We couldn't always go and do
Mm-hmm.
exactly what the book said. And so, with the help of the other scout leaders, we would adjust it and give him enough help that he could achieve the things he needed to achieve. Now,
Mm-hmm.
the only thing that he had to waive that he could not do was swimming. So, because he couldn't swim, then he couldn't do any of the life saving and the boats. So, the water skills he could not do. And so, in order
Mm-hmm.
to waive that, because that was a needed Eagle merit badge, he
Mm-hmm.
was able. He had to do a whole bunch of other merit badges to make up for
Mm-hmm.
missing that one. So, you learn to adapt and find a way around it.
Yes, learn to adapt and find your way around it. Love that message out there.
Yeah.
So, are you planning to make a sequel for this book?
I have my second book right here. It just came
Nice.
this last week. I got my second book published. So,
Uh huh.
so the first book was Champions We Are, and
Uh
the
huh.
second book is The Making of Champions.
The making
And
of
so,
champions.
The Making of Champions. So each book that comes out in this series will have champions in the title.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and each my parents going crazy. I'm sorry. Um,
That's all right.
each book will lead into the next book. So one of the activities that he's doing in the book will be something that will lead into the next book. And so as you're
Mhm.
reading the book and you see the different activities they're doing, you have to wonder, okay, which one of these is going to be the next book?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the fun of it, is enjoying the story, learning from the story, and then
Mm-hmm.
guessing what's the next book going to be about, because it's all in Nick's adventures. And I've taken all of his adventures and I'm turning it into stories that anybody can learn from and go out and have fun with.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So you mentioned that you actually got that second book last week. How does that feel that the sequel is already there? That's
Oh, it's
already
exciting.
published. Yeah.
When I got my book in my hand, it was so exciting, because
Uh-huh.
you know, you just talk about it and you talk about it, and when you finally get it, it's very cool.
Hmm. Nice. So, when did you first realize that you wanted to be a writer or an author?
Well, I've been writing forever, since I was a little
Mm.
girl. I started writing as a little girl because my little sister started school and she was having trouble learning how to read. And I
Mhm.
loved reading. My reading has
Mm.
always been my escape from my reality. And
True. Me
so
too.
to get her to read, I would write little stories for her. And then
Mhm.
she would take those little stories and take them to her school, to her class, and her teacher would read it to the class.
Mhm.
And so as I got older, I wrote a little bit more in-depth stories and my own imagination and just about things I was feeling or thinking. And I mean, nobody ever read them. They were all mine. But then I went to, it was over the internet. I went to a school in New England
Uh-huh.
that was for children's literature. And I
Mhm.
did that for 2 years. And they told me my stories were really good. I should get them published. I never got around
True.
to it. And so I decided last year that the one story that I had written I thought was going to maybe make a difference was my story about Nick. And so
Mhm.
I decided, okay, it's time, I'm going to get one published. And I did, and it's great.
Yes,
Because
and
I needed to let people know what they could do with their kids.
true. True. I love how you said a while ago when you said you've always been writing and at that time all of these writing were all for yourself. And look at you now. You're an author and you actually I can connect to the world right now because people can read it already
Yes,
because it's available on Amazon right now.
it is Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and I believe Walmart. I haven't
Yes.
seen it in my store yet, but they told me it's supposed to
Hmm.
be at Walmart. So
Nice.
I'm looking for
How
it.
do you how do you feel about that? That your book is already there in Walmart and Amazon and sharing your message out there.
Well, I love it, but so far I have not seen it on a shelf in the store.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to someday walking in, and I always go and check out the book racks. Someday I'm going to walk in and it's going to be my book, and I'm going to be thrilled.
Yeah. I want to check up on you on that. So how would you feel if you see your book out there on the shelves being
I'll take my
available for
phone and my
people?
camera, and I'm going to take pictures of it. Then I'll
That's
know
what
I've
I'm
made
gonna
it.
do too. Yes, congratulations on that. I'm really happy. I'm always really happy for authors like you who's actually have their books being on the shelves already available for a lot of people out there. Yeah.
Yeah, I've done a few book signings.
Mm-hmm.
I I set up sometimes at flea markets or craft shows and talk to people about the book and sign the book for people. And
Mm-hmm.
it's getting to talk to people in life is really fun, because a lot of them don't even realize what their kids can do. They think
Yeah.
maybe because the kids are in a wheelchair or they can't talk well, or maybe they have low vision, that they're so limited, and they
Mm-hmm.
haven't thought about there are so many opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's figure out what we can do to make it fun.
True.
As a Boy Scout leader, I worked with I had wide range of disabilities. So I had a blind boy, I had deaf boys, I had
Mm-hmm.
autistic, just all these different disabilities. And so it's bringing it to their level and building on it. That's the key
Mm-hmm.
to success with these kids, is you can't just go with one thing, say you're going to all do this. It doesn't work
Mm-hmm.
that way. So you go in there and say, okay, what can I do to make this work for you? And so, that's been the fun of it, is getting creative and making
Mm-hmm.
something exciting to someone who has a harder time learning, or maybe they can't use their hands very well. Or
Mm-hmm.
I think the blind boy was the hardest one.
Mm-hmm. So you have two books right now. So Champions We Are and The Making of Champions. What was your work schedule like when you were writing them?
Finding time to write is always a challenge when you have a busy household. I
Mm-hmm.
have parrot and fish and dogs and kid.
Yeah, I can hear the parrot.
Yeah, it's like there's just so many things going on all the time. And so it's like, okay, I had to just make myself cut out a block of time and get my son busy doing something, give the bird a whole bunch of peanuts to eat, give the dog
Mm.
something to play with, and just go sit down and give myself space. So sometimes I
Mm.
wait until everyone goes to bed and then I can sit and
Mhm.
write for a while. Or sometimes when everyone's busy and it's quiet, I'm going, okay, it's my turn. And I go sit down and write.
I can
Sometimes
imagine you.
I sit at the kitchen table with my cup of coffee and sit there and write in my notebook, or I'll go sit on the computer and write. So.
I can imagine you out late at night, like finally they're all sleeping right now. So
I do, and
the
I've
fun.
always done that. Even when my boys
Uh,
were little, they were young
uh,
and in school, and I wouldn't have time all day long to write, so I'd wait till
mm.
everybody went to bed, and I'd go sit down and write and write and write, and then I realized, oh my gosh, I haven't got any sleep yet. So I get about 2 hours sleep, and then get up and get them ready for school.
Yeah, 2 hours of sleep, and you realize that sometimes.
So
Okay,
sometimes you just have to make time for yourself when you have a busy life.
true, true.
But,
So
between
what something?
the church and Boy Scouts and the Lions Club and the things that
Uh-huh.
we're involved in our community is like you got to figure out time for
Uh-huh.
yourself. You can't just give yourself away all the time.
True, true. I love how you're actually managing your time right there. Even though if you are busy, you actually found time to write the book, and now you have two, not one but two books, and it's already out there available.
And I have 3 that are started.
Oh, nice! That's really nice to know. We have a really good author right here, you guys. So,
Well,
what was
I'll get to thinking about something, and I have to
uh
go and write the idea down. The next know it's growing and it's turning into like a half a book before I stop writing.
yes. This sometimes it happens to me when inspiration comes in, and I'm like, wait, I need to write this down so that it won't go away. Sometimes it's in the middle of my sleep, and then I get to have that inspiration because sometimes they just go away if you don't write
Yeah.
them down.
Well, you're afraid if you don't write it down, you'll forget about it. And then
True.
other
True.
things stay in your mind, and you have to write it down.
Yes. So I have a question here. What was one of the most surprising things that you learned in creating your books?
Well, the thing about my writing is mine
Mm-hmm.
is all memories that I've turned into stories.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes recalling the memories, I'll write down in a notebook and write my story. But then when I
Mm-hmm.
go turn around and then I type it in the computer, and
Mm-hmm.
I'll think of all these things to add to it as I write it. It's like I
Mm-hmm.
edit it and flesh it out as I write it. And it'll bring back all these little memories that I didn't think about at first. And so sometimes it's the way the water sparkled when my son was water skiing, or sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it's because it was very cloudy. You think it's gonna be a horrible day, and something
Uh-huh.
wonderful happens. So sometimes a memory just gets jogged because you start writing
Mm-hmm.
about something. And that's always a nice
Yeah.
little surprise.
I
Yeah.
really love how you get the inspiration just from a single sparkle of the water. You can get inspiration. I love that. Such a
Yeah.
talent that you are. So, what do you think makes a good story?
I think a good story is something that triggers imagination.
Mm-hmm.
It makes somebody want to go out and try something new they've never tried before.
Mm-hmm.
Something that gets someone excited that they want to go out and do something, because
Yeah.
it's easy to sit back and kind of coast and exist.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think most people really want to exist. I think most people want something in their life to make them have some excitement.
Mm-hmm.
And some people, a little bit is enough, and others want to go
Mm-hmm.
out and go whole hog. It's okay. We all should do what makes us happy. But if we don't go out and try
Sure.
things, we don't know what we can do. There's only
Yes,
two
I
things
totally.
that I do not do. I do not go up high. I don't do my mountain
Mm-hmm.
climbing. I don't jump out of
Mm-hmm.
airplanes. and I don't go around snakes and spiders. So
We
other than
share
that, I
the
do
same
about
thing. I won't do that as well.
yeah. So
I
I've
don't.
been a Boy Scout leader. I've gone out and done camping. I've done so many fun things, but only because Nick was in it and I had to be his leader. And so I've
Mhm.
done things with Nick that I would have never just done on my own. And so it's
Yeah.
been a great growing experience for us both.
True, true, true. And yet, yes, I really agree with you. So you have your own process as well, and and having a good story. And I agree to that because I also don't want to jump out of an airplane. So I don't want, I'm scared of it. I don't do that.
Yeah,
You can make
it's
me
like, why
climb a
would you jump?
mountain, but yeah, but
Yeah,
jump an
I like
airplane,
my
no.
feet on the ground.
I'm gonna pass out. Yeah. So not for me as well. so
Right.
uh, so for you, Beth, what difference do you see between a writer and an author?
Well, I was a writer for years and
Mm-hmm.
years. But when I got my book published and it's
Mm-hmm.
here in my hand, now I'm an author.
Yeah, love that. So
I think once
yeah.
once your book's in your hand and you can share with other people, then you feel like an
Mm-hmm.
author.
True, true. I love that. So, yes, because I was an author before and I cannot say I'm an author right now because the book's not available anymore. So I don't consider myself an author anymore. But a writer, yeah. Maybe I'm a writer. I can write anything under the sun. I can write a story, but I have not published anything. So even on the internet. I have not even published a really good story on the internet yet, so I will not consider myself an author yet, since I have not a full story out there yet. So I agree with you. So, how do you process and deal with negative book reviews, if ever you
I've
have one?
I've had no negative at all, so I
Yeah.
don't know how I'm going to deal with it. I guess I'll say, I lived my life and I see it
Mm-hmm.
from my viewpoint. And if you don't see it from my viewpoint, then I guess you judge it the way your viewpoint is. That
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell somebody else how to view things, but this is
Yeah.
my viewpoint.
True. And also, I could not imagine someone giving you a negative feedback, a negative review on that book. It's an inspirational book about kids, and you're giving I could imagine someone do that.
But the only thing I think that might be negative, someone might say, well, it's written like for kids. Well, it's not
Mm-hmm.
really for kids as much as for teenagers
Mm-hmm.
and for families. And I've had little kids who've read it who understood it totally.
Mm-hmm.
And so it really depends on how well you read, how much you understand, because we all grow from reading. Every book
Mm-hmm.
we read is going to teach us something. And if we read a hard book, we learn more from it. If we read an easy book, then we coast through it, but we usually remember the
Mm-hmm.
story if it's a good story.
Mm-hmm.
So if
True,
they don't
true.
like it, they don't have to read it. But if they want
Yes,
a
I
good story, they
agree.
should read it.
Yeah. I agree with you. If you don't like it, just don't read it anyway. So
That's right.
also this is what I learned from I do theater. So this is what I learned from one of my directors saying that if you get a negative review, just a lot of negative if there are a lot of negative reviews, just think that you are shopping for one that can help you. So if there are negative ones that can help you, then accept them. If there are negative reviews that don't actually help you, then ignore them. So that's what I learned as well
I
from
guess
my
you would have to
experience.
look at what they were saying and
True.
ask yourself, how you felt about it. If you felt they were correct, maybe you need
Mm-hmm.
to adjust a little bit. But
Mm-hmm.
I think, I can't see too much they could find wrong with it
Mm-hmm.
unless they do are really negative people. Maybe then
True.
they really need the story more.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with you. If they're like the negative types of people, then yeah, you need the book more. Read it and get inspired and be a positive
Yeah.
person. So, I know you've already discussed this a while ago, but for the sake of this question, how long have you been writing and when did you start writing?
Well, I'm very old now. And I
Mm-hmm.
started writing when I was like in second or third grade. So I've
Mm-hmm.
been writing a very long time. But
Very,
probably
very
the
long
last
time.
20 years, I've written real stories that people might want to read.
Hmm.
And I have written
Nice.
some that I thought were very good, but I need to flush them out. I,
Mm-hmm.
I wrote one that I thought was really good, and I had a friend who's an editor read it just to get her viewpoint on whether I should get it published.
Mm,
And it was my mother's life story. And so it was a story I really
nice.
cared a lot about. And so I asked her to read it for me to see what she thought of it. And she said, "Oh, it's a good story, but it was so sad that I needed to find some humor." And I'm going,
Oh,
but there wasn't much humor in her. She had a very hard life.
very hard life.
And so I said, I've been thinking about all these years since then, because it's been like 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking I'm going to rewrite it, and I'm going to write it from her guardian angel's point of view.
Nice
And the
idea.
guardian angel is going to be sitting on her shoulder saying,
Mm-hmm.
"This, do you really want to do this?" And let her kind of make her
Yeah.
think about her choices and kind of get a little different viewpoint there when she's making her decisions. So,
Yes. You know what? You really have this talent of creating stories, If you said your mom had really had a hard time life and you find the humor, why not use the guardian angel? I really love that idea. I would love to read that book as well. So,
well,
you
one
know,
of these
they
days I will get it.
yes. So, the experiences of the guardian angel, so they can be humor in it as well. So, no, don't do
Yeah.
that. And then she did it. So,
I mean, honestly, when someone's had a really hard life, it's hard to find humor.
mhm,
So you've got to
true.
look at all the different angles. Like, what would her guardian angel have said? Did she have a guardian angel on one shoulder and the little devil on the other
Mhm.
shoulder? Well, so I've got to think about how I can put this together and make it so that it's not terribly sad, but it's still going to be a very true story.
True,
And
true,
I've had
true.
different people in my family who've been, they've had special situations in their life that they've just overcome so many tragic things, and they've come
Mhm.
out as winners. And I want to write their stories. I love people's stories.
Yes,
I just think that they're such inspiration to other people.
true.
And
I
so
love
I'm
inspirational
trying to
stories.
collect my family stories so I can put them into something.
I love how you said that you love your family stories. You're actually immortalizing their memories in books, and I
Yeah.
love that. Yeah, that's a really good idea as well. So, from all of those years that you've been writing since the second grade or the third grade, what was the first one? Can you still remember the first one that you've written, or what was it
Oh,
about?
the first one was about Kathy getting to start to school, and Kathy
Hmm.
loving going to school. And Kathy had to get up early in the morning, even when she didn't want to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just convincing her that even though it was things she didn't really want to do,
Yeah,
there
we
was
can
going to be
all
good
relate to
things
Kathy.
someday. Yeah, think about all the things you're going to get to do when you go to school. You get to play
True.
with your friends, you get to swing, you get to get on the merry-go-round. And so it's things that trigger her to want to read and go to school.
Nice.
But I found that for the kids, if I wrote stories and put their names in there,
Mm-hmm.
that they were more willing to read.
Wow.
And so
Yes,
that
so
was
they
really
will.
a fun way to get them to read.
That's really nice. And you still remember the first one. Nice, nice. So, and when did you first call yourself a writer?
Probably when I finished writing for my class from New England.
Hmm.
And they were saying, "Oh, you need to publish some of these books." And I'm going, "No, I'm not." I had to get the right one that really meant a lot to me, I think,
Yeah,
to get
you
it
were waiting for
published.
that. Nice.
Yeah.
So right now, Beth, I'm going to give the spotlight to you. Tell us where we can find your books and if you have a future project.
Okay, you can find my books at Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and Walmart. And the first book, of course, was Champions We Are
Mm-hmm.
by Beth Watter.
Yes.
And the second one is The Making of Champions by
Mm.
Beth Watter. And I won't tell you what the third one is, but it is in progress.
Yes, love that.
And I have one that I'm almost finished with, that is All the Dogs That I Have Loved which I am
Mm.
writing for your company because I was asked to write that book because I lost
Oh.
one of my little dogs at the end of November.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a little Maltese named Georgie. His name was
Mm-hmm.
Curious George, and he was just a
Curious
wonderful
George.
little dog. And Curious George died. And so I got to
Oh.
thinking about all these wonderful dogs I have loved, and they've been so important in my life. And so my publisher asked me to write a book about
Mm-hmm.
all the dogs I've loved.
Mm-hmm.
So the first book will be about each of the dogs will all be in it, where they entered my life. But then there's going to be one book for each dog after that. So they will all have their own book also. So
Love
that's
that.
in progress.
Yes. I love how you're putting all these memories with your loved ones, including the dogs. And by the way,
Yeah.
for all our viewers out there, Beth Watter here will be with us at the Readers Magnets booth in April during the LA Times Festival of Books. So that's going to be in April. It's just going to be with us in the confab and on the LA Times Festival of Books as well. And USC, University of Southern California. So if you want to go there, go ahead and check us out. You can have your copy of your book, Champions We Are, signed by our featured author today, Beth Watter. So, all right, Beth Watter, everybody, get your copy of Champions We Are and The Making of the Champions. Available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and also Walmart. Please check her book out right there. And Beth, it has been an awesome time with you always. Thank you for joining us here today at Reader's Magnet.
Yeah.
And
Always
guys,
fun. Thank you.
yes, and let's open the pages and unravel the secrets of your personal odyssey. And I believe that your ink never runs dry. So go ahead and tell your story, you storyteller. This is your host, Revan, with our guest, Elisabeth Watter. And as we say it here at Reader's Magnet, we share your story with the world. Bye for now. Stay awesome.
Bye.